it shade? Is it a caution? Or did Yandy finally speak up in the most possible in an unexpected, mysterious way? At first, no one could tell. The feed froze. The second fan saw the ambiguous black and white Instagram tale with a single line that seemed innocuous at first but contained enough suspense to divide the crowd in two. It simply stated that truth is revealed by God in peculiar ways. Nothing more, no follow-up, no explanation, and no emojis. And that was plenty to throw all love and hip-hop fans into a frenzy because the timing is crazy. Believed that by implying the background she wasn't discussing. Kirk Frost had just stirred things up more than he had in years. Suddenly, Yandy says something that seems like a spiritual quotation wrapped in a clapback. We're frantically trying to figure things out. Was she accusing Kirk of lying? Was she implying that there was more to this tale? Or was she cautioning someone about the veracity of receipts? Minutes after that story vanished, it became even more bizarre because, indeed, almost immediately, she erased it. In an old tape from the show, she added, "People love to talk when they think no one will challenge them." While staring straight into the camera, just a memory with a message powerful enough to make fans gasp, no tag. No identity, no context. Screenshots are all over the place. Threads on Twitter blew up. In a matter of seconds, bloggers went live. Commenters claimed not to have witnessed Yandy hasn't been this daring in years. Others remarked that she appeared exhausted, disillusioned, and weary of being pulled into drama that she had not agreed to. The discussion then took an entirely new turn when people realized between Kirk's recent comments and Yandy's unexpected social media activities. There were many who thought she was exposing him without really doing so. Others claimed that by refusing to go low, she was defending her house. However, no one anticipated the loudest take of all. Fans began to say Yandy wasn't merely reacting, she was actually firing the opening shot, while the internet was still attempting to decipher Yandy's enigmatic remarks. And even stranger things started to happen about her. People saw a complete change in her online attitude immediately after she removed her brief Instagram story. She didn't vanish, but there was a strange weight to her stillness, like if she was suppressing something. The timing was too precise for it to be random, according to fans, especially since Kirk has been talking about stuff from her past. She seemed to talk without actually saying anything, then took a step back to observe everyone scurrying. When a fan site unexpectedly re-uploaded an old love and hip-hop video, the conversation got louder. Yandy was in the video in the saying that people enjoy twisting stories until they get caught in their own lies. He was nearly staring through the camera in that particular episode. She wasn't referring to since fans quickly made the connection between everything that was going on at the time. They claimed that the video seemed like a message she had been holding on to for years, waiting for the ideal opportunity to reappear. In the meantime, several viewers searched even farther and found interviews in which Rashida once made remarks about actors who appear professional but aren't genuinely reliable behind the scenes. When she said that line, no one noticed, but suddenly people were placing Yandy's face next to it and speculating about whether Rashida had been hinting at her all. Suddenly, an old story that had chilled and then immediately warmed up again, and every little detail was being scrutinized like evidence in a court of law. As all of this was going on, Kirk's name kept coming up. Fans began speculating that he might have just brought up this issue to divert attention from his own ongoing troubles. Some said he was sick of playing the bad guy every season when the cheating plot reappeared. In order to change the focus of the story to someone else, he stirred things up. According to some, he appeared almost relieved in his most recent appearance, as if the pressure had finally shifted from him to someone else's home for just once. On Yandy's end, she shared a photo that increased suspicions. It was not brand new photo, but a flashback of her looking calm and unfazed while standing on a red carpet. "Angie tells the truth when people don't," was the caption beneath it. Just one sentence set every comment section ablaze. While some fans said she was explicitly criticizing Kirk, others criticizing everyone who was taking anything he suggested at its value. Some even claimed that she was speaking directly to her supporters, cautioning them not to be fooled by false information. Conversely, Mendes was out of sight. No post, no mysterious message, no live, nothing. Additionally, that he appeared even more engrossed when he remained silent. Rumors started to circulate that he might not have approved of Kirk bringing up Yandy's name, or that he was attempting to maintain composure to avoid escalating the situation in public. Someone close to the situation reportedly told a blogger. When Mendes learned about the stories, he became unhappy because he thought Kirk had gone too far by bringing his wife into something unrelated to him. Although the blogger didn't provide any evidence, their description of his response led fans to speculate that a private altercation might have occurred someplace. People started rewatching old footage of Mendes behind the scenes, pointing out how defensive he becomes whenever his family is disparaged. They claimed that Mendes's silence wasn't an indication of weakness, but rather that he was attempting to keep the situation from blowing up if Kirk truly made any significant suggestions on Yandy's past. Some even made the joke that the producers were probably hoping he didn't show up at Kirk's house without warning, because that would make for a completely different kind of episode. Fans kept searching for hints. Yandy's feed showed a slight alteration. She began to enjoy remarks that seemed to be misinterpreted or unfairly criticized. Although she didn't express it directly, it seemed nodding slightly to those who supported her by liking such remarks. She appreciated a comment. That said, they love to speak on what they don't know. Another person remarked, "Truth doesn't panic." Coisel seemed to be treated like a clue, as though she was heading out. Breadcrumbs for the audience to follow. When a brief podcast audio sample was uploaded online, the situation became even more chaotic. Someone stated in the video how reality stars frequently utilize ambiguous phrases to control talks without facing legal repercussions. Supporters were certain that this was a jab at Yandy's reaction to Kirk's remarks. Some claimed that Yandy had become an expert at speaking in puzzles since she knew that her fans would figure everything out. Others argued that by protecting herself and still she was being astute. One thing became evident from all of this conjecture. There has always been conflict between their houses. It had simply been simmering for a while. Kirk and Yandy appeared to maintain a courteous distance from one another, and Mendes never had the best friendship. Following Kirk's purported enigmatic responses, some were speculating on social media that the distance wasn't out of courtesy, but rather survival. Some fans speculated that Yandy might not have been talking about Kirk after all. Perhaps she was simply posting on a regular basis and everyone was blown away of proportion, as the timing seems dubious. However, those who believed they were witnessing a silent conflict quickly drowned out their voices. The story seemed more expansive than a single rumor because of the notion that two families, two marriages, and two sets of secrets were now intertwined. Reactions continued to flood in as time went on. Some people vehemently defended Yandy, claiming that she never had drama and that Kirk ought to be concentrating on his own marriage rather than causing problems for others. Some claimed that Yandy's silence was evidence that something must have struck a nerve. Then there were those who simply wanted to watch the whole thing unfold from a distance, because they were surprised by a fresh twist every hour. The environment surrounding the issue was constantly changing. It seemed as though everyone was waiting for someone to eventually make a direct statement that would turn things from murmurs to mayhem. Moreover, that tension continued to build, because despite the fact that no one had publicly said anything, it seemed like everyone was getting ready for the big moment. And just as the discussion appeared to be at its height, something else occurred that caused the entire scenario to take an even more bizarre turn, leading people to believe that whatever was going on behind the scenes was more complex than anyone had initially believed. As the chaos continued, an unexpected topic was brought up: a screenshot from a minor. Rumor website stated that Yandy had unfollowed a Kirk-related person. The rumor was sufficient, even though no one could verify whether it was true or altered, because celebrities use them to convey silent statements. When words are insufficient, people began to claim that they are the new equivalent of throwing hands. Some claimed it was Photoshop. Others, however, examined the snapshot as if it were a picture from a murder scene and started dissecting each pixel as depended on it, relied upon it. Then a further bizarre detail emerged. It's funny how the past keeps coming back when certain people feel irrelevant. A Twitter user reported seeing beneath one of Yandy's previous posts. The user insisted that it had never existed previously, implying that it was uploaded and swiftly removed by someone from Yandy's circle. Whether accurate or not, the internet was illuminated by timing. The message, according to fans, nearly screamed that someone felt singled out. Moreover, people concluded that Kirk was the target of the shade because his name was already circulating in rumors. At least not in public. Neither Kirk nor Rashida had spoken a word. They carried on with their regular activities, as if nothing had occurred. Kirk published a slow-motion video of himself working out as if he didn't realize he was in the middle of a storm, and Rashida shared her typical business stuff, grinning with her boutique employees, while Rashida pretended not to notice the remarks, tagging her every few minutes. Other fans suggested that Kirk was likely silently enjoying the attention. When a podcaster posted, things took a more dramatic turn. A little video in which their industry insider stated that incensed about the way the situation was becoming worse. Despite the ambiguity of Kirk's comments, they asserted that he felt allow others to fabricate negative stories about Yandy. Mondays has always drawn a line when it came to people utilizing Yandy's name for influence. According to the podcaster, the boundary had been breached in a way that seemed intimate this time. Despite the lack of evidence, the podcaster's conviction and voice made, they seemed to have a thorough understanding of what they were discussing. This theory gained such traction on the internet that individuals began to imagine an encounter that might not have actually occurred. Many who thought Mendes and Kirk had already had a furious private. Others stated it's